Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 15 for round number 20 of the championship. Welcome to the Mexican Grand Prix here at a sodden circuit de Hermanos Rodriguez. I really hope I remembered how to pronounce that. I'm your host, Zach Rossi, back again after my 1 week absence. And joining me is my good friend and Season 11 champion, Tapsby Pope, who we think about a season ago, Pope. This was your very first race in the Consbox. How's it feel to be back in Mexico?
I was gonna say it's one whole season of me commentating alongside you. It's good to be back. I love this track. It's so fun. It's always an exciting watching in the RDL. So I'm excited to be back in the commentary box after a few weeks out, and yeah, I'm just ready to go. Ready to go.
I am as excited as you are, my friend. Right, so looking into it, but off of last week, obviously I wasn't here for that one. You were in the race, no, if I'm not mistaken?
No, I was unable to race, mainly because I don't have my wheel with me, and I don't trust myself in controller.
Fair enough. I did the exact same thing in my case, to be honest. So looking at the Drivers' Championship, Fan still shows the way in the standings. 37 points to Sniper Hunter, who is not here tonight. The lone Alpine in the race, and that is your 6-time champion, and still reigning champion, I remind you, Salve Grumio, who perhaps might still be a dark horse to win this title, Pope. He's 56 points back. He honestly, I think there's 4 rounds left, 104 points to gain left in this season. I think if anyone can close that gap of the top 5 to Fan, it's Grumio.
Oh, 100%. I think Grumio is kind of coming into a lot better form as of recently. Obviously, a P2 behind Cot 5 in last week's race. So, and that was only split by 3 seconds as well. So it's very, very competitive up there at the top. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what Grumio can do. Obviously, Fan not scoring last week as well. So, maybe the form is kind of changing a little bit. But like I say, 104 points up for grab. Grumio can still do this.
And we'll see if he can make a good start to his evening with a good qualifying lap to kick things off here in Mexico. Do you want to take him? Do you want to take us with him on a pole? Oh, sorry, almost spun the car there. But do you want to follow him along and see the pole? Well, could be pole lap, but his first qualifying run. It's gonna be a while to say that.
It would be my pleasure. Let's see if it is going to be valid. That's the only thing it isn't validated is out lap. It will be valid. So obviously no DRS, but this is where the DRS zone would start here in Mexico. Obviously since it's raining, it does get deactivated. Going down to the lengthy run into turn 1. Obviously lap 1, turn 1 will be eventful as always. Going to try and use all the track there, even in these slider conditions. Sliding the car, sliding the rear end, using the rear end to turn the car more than the front. Obviously a lot of understeer in these wet conditions. That's the end of sector 1. It's a very, very short sector here in Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico. It's a brilliant circuit, like I said. A lot of moves can be made in here as we see a purple sector 1 as Dan takes provisional pole at a 126.4. Obviously in the dry it'll be a hell of a lot quicker than that. Going through the S section now, turns 7 to 11 all just merge into each other. Half throttle, you want to make sure you don't spin the car. I always say this is where the drivers will struggle. This is where they'll pick up penalties and maybe even crash out. Let's keep an eye on that circuit, part of the circuit during the race. Sector 2 is now complete. We have a small DRS zone which we just passed. Obviously, like I said, deactivated. Into the brilliant stadium section. This is great on the final few laps. You see all the flares and the confetti rise to the sky as the person who is in pole, who's in first, will take the win. Coming through turn 16 and the kink of 17, sliding through, no traction on this circuit, and it's a 124.5, 7/10 ahead of Nicholas in P2, who has been outstanding in qualifying so far this season.
But of course, you think back to a season ago on the last game, Grumio was still coming to an end of a 18 pole season, if my memory is correct, from last time around as he romped to his 6th RDL championship. So there's a bit of nostalgia there for you guys who have been here for a bit longer than some of our newer viewers who I'd like to say hello to. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. And Pope, of course, thank you for taking us on that quite fantastic lap. I did it in Qatar 2 weeks ago, but however, I don't think it would have lived up to what you normally give us. So good to have you back doing that. And we'll continue on here with the rest of this session. Nicholas in second, as you say, and Imri running in third place. Dan was the original pace setter, 1 minute 25.3 to his name. Curtis in 5th place. BJ running in 6th. Still in with a shot at the title. 55 points out, which is 1 point in front of Grumio. And Pergurian, who I believe made his debut last week, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing him on the leaderboard at the end. If not, this is his first race tonight, if that's not the case. Lucky Lambert in 9th there, driving the Las Vegas-style Ferrari for tonight's race. He's got his teammate JB alongside him, who's yet to set his first lap time. Lucky goes P9 on the timing boards. And starting her lap now is Grovi in the Red Bull, who of course has been on a marvellous run in recent weeks. String of top 5s still continuing on from her debut back in Singapore.
Yeah, we were very, very impressed with that 4-star for there in Singapore. And Grover, she's really just took to the RDL very, very well. And she's performing at levels which are just crazy to see, to be quite honest. It's top 5s in, I think, like you say, all the races so far. That's just ridiculous.
Definitely.
That's a ridiculous consistency. And it'll be really good to see what she can do in the next season when they've got a fresh start.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Cop 5 can do next season should he choose to stick around. Of course, he's had a fantastic start as well. He's won a decent number of races to kick things off here. If I have a look at the board here on my side, he's from his first few races, he's won 2 of the last 3. Looking at it, of course, the one race he didn't win being Qatar, which is of course taken by the Haas of Che, who's not with us tonight. It's just the one Haas, the one Alpine in the order, and the one at AlphaTauri too. Lycon also not here in the action.
Yeah, AlphaTauri really needed these points just to try and pit past the Martin in that Constructors Championship. Let's have a look at that Constructors Championship where we see Fan nip into P2, 4/10 behind Grumio, and looking at a fantastic lap point in P3. Very, very good there by the Ferrari. Obviously, Mercedes leading Alpine 351 points to 313. It's still up for grabs, but with the lack of Sniper Hunter for the Alpine team, it is looking very unlikely that they will be able to clinch another Constructors Championship win. So Mercedes looking to stretch their lead going into the final 3 races. We'll see obviously what they can score here as BJ is in P9 with, like I said, Fant in P2. So those two always a very good pairing, and I'm sure they'll be the same pairing next season as well.
Definitely, of course, you'll look to see some of the drivers who joined us mid-season in season 15. You'll start to wonder where they'll be looking in terms of teammate pairings for next time, for when we reach Bahrain in a couple of months' time. Back when we get to January, if my memory is correct, that's pretty much when the season sort of starts. Grumio's still on top here, 10 minutes to go. Yellow flag in the second sector. That's one of the Ferraris. It looks like it is still Lucky Lambert. JB in the pit lane right now. Grovy's still on a second time lap here, 1 minute 2.1 in the second sector. We'll keep an eye on her as you get to the end of her lap. We'll see just where she emerges in the order into the last couple of corners. She's got her teammate Dan in there for a solid toe if necessary, as these two make their way round that last sweeping right-hander. Oh, Grovey losing the back end of the car a little bit there on exit, but still keeps it under control. She goes fastest! And where goes Websy?
Websy, who has been my dark horse and someone I've raved about this entire season. As we can tell, the times are dropping quite significantly now. The track is getting a hell of a lot drier. There's no more rain in the air. So I'm very excited to see by the end of these 9 minutes who will be taking pole as DRS gets enabled. So signify that the track's ready for dries. I'm not too certain just yet. I think it'll be a lot of DRS usage with these wet tyres, but definitely by the end of the session we'll see people on those soft tyres.
We see a few stragglers already going for it. You see Imri there running P10 right now. Not as good on the inters, but might have some better luck on those red-walled soft tyres as he makes his way to the end of the second sector. Just be careful not to go too aggressive. There he is, almost losing the car on the exit. Shane has crashed it, I think.
Yeah, Shane did lose the car in that S section, the section which I was saying is going to be such a challenge for these drivers, especially in the conditions that we're at. We're in mixed conditions now, especially right, we're transitioning to those dry. Shame for Shane because he'll probably be near the bottom of the grid now because obviously the track will just keep on proving. And he was in P5, really good start to that qualifying, so a big shame.
Definitely, but of course we'll hopefully get a chance to see him make his way up through the order here. We'll keep an eye on Grovey. I think she's come around to finish off another lap here, not sure. Actually, I'm saying that she may have backed off a little bit, so he wouldn't be coming in. No, she's staying out there, going for one more, but not improving there. 1.2 seconds down the previous effort. I assume that Websy, who is 4 seconds down, will be coming into pit this time. Nope, again staying out, but still on provisional pole. I see Grumio, though, looking at the switch to soft tyres. So the change to slicks could be a massive spanner in the works for our top 2 right now, who we're looking to hopefully get on those tyres themselves later on.
Yeah, Imri 7/10s up on their previous time on those intermediates compared to now the softs. So it's looking like there's a bit of improvement there for these drivers as the track is drying out now. I still think a little bit too wet to see the actual pace of these soft tyres. But yeah, obviously when you're on the intermediate tyres, you can just keep hammering runs. That's how I love to do it in qualifying, especially on the wet and the intermediate tyres. You can just keep going, overfuel the car, and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then you'll find the improvements there.
Sounds good. I mean, oh, see Aston Martin going wider. That's right. That just allowed Imri out of the way. That'd be Cott, who is moving out of the way. I'm just trying to remember myself who's got one car in this race. So it's Aston Martin who have one car.
That's 2 with Slazenger, who I think is a
qualifying
qualifying mod.
out. Sorry. Oh, Imri goes fastest there, and that's the first track of the soft tyres. All right, so yeah, sorry.
Yeah, definitely expected a bit of a drop there. I think even another 4 or 3 seconds improvement. I'm not too sure what these cars are like around Mexico, but going back from previous years, probably another significant time jump from the people that are setting the laps now.
I saw Websy was 6 tenths up on his previous effort, but he's coming into the pit lane now, so bringing an end to that run. I think he might be out of fuel percent, but we're getting to the end of his fuel run. Going into turn 1, there's Grovey still in second place. I think
Grovey actually improved to
she improved
place,
yeah.
Only 4 tenths behind us, which show you how close it was on that run. But as we're on board now with Grovey, or I am, and nonetheless, it's completely dry. I think these slicks are ready to get raring. Obviously, the track temperature will rise, no doubt, as these drivers lay down some rubber.
I think the key will be for the rest of this qualifying session, Pope, is just to who can get the last say in terms of lap time. So you want to be going out there right at the end, trying to leave as little time on the board as possible. As PJ Keller goes fastest, that's a name you don't often see at the top of the timing sheets. Fantastic. We may see a few dark horses in this qualifying session. I'm liking the look of it.
No, exactly. That's a great thing about a mixed qualifying session, or even just a wet qualifying session. You see people that might not necessarily perform the best on the 1 lap pace in the slick conditions. You see Cot 5, who has been so dominant so far in his very short tenure here in the RDL. 1:20.1. That's over a second faster than PJ. It's a fantastic lap time for a first go on the softs, and it gets even beaten by Nicholas. So it's just going to be constantly dropping these times.
I love that we have so many drivers who are so good in qualifying, especially in the late stage of a session when we do see the soft tyres come into play from going off a wet check onto a dry one. I want to have a look here at C110P fans making his way through to turn 1 for his first lap on the soft tyres. So of course, we have to remind ourselves that as it stands right now, despite the fact we've been looking mostly at the cars we can still catch him, those cars being Sniper, Websy, BJ, and Grumio, and perhaps even Curtis and PJ. I think the top 7 are still in championship contention, but that will change massively perhaps after tonight. Regardless though, we are looking at this the wrong way. C110P fan can win his first RDL championship if he just hangs on to what he's got now.
Yeah, it's a game of defence here now for Fanny. Can't let the pressure get to him. Definitely not allowing that. And we obviously spoke to him many times in the post-race interviews this season. He's not letting that get to him, which is fantastic. But it's just about a game of defence and just making sure you score the points. They have to score a lot of points now to beat C110P fan. I think next competitor realistically will be Websy after this race, and that's going to be probably odd 50 points. So that's 2 race wins. So you've got 4 races remaining. Just keep scoring those points. Don't make silly mistakes.
And Websy's only won 2 races all season, if my memory is correct, if I'm looking at the scoreboard, right? Here comes Fan to the last corner.
Yeah, exactly. Websy is more just scoring points, and there we are. This is the times that we're going to probably see a 1:18.9 really taking it to Nicholas and Cott, but nonetheless, like you said, Zach, it's the person who gets that last lap in.
Definitely. I see Lucky Lambert on the race track right now as well. Of course, this will be his first lap on the soft tyres. 58.8 is second tech. He's 4 seconds up on his previous effort. Needs a bit more in the stadium section as they make their way into the final couple of corners on the circuit. I see one of the Mercedes cars pulling in behind. That is BJ, I believe, who sits in P4 right now. 3 spots down on his teammate. Here comes Lucky at the last corner. Can he put off pole? He can't quite do it, but it's very close. 6-second improvement. That puts the Ferrari in P2.
Yeah, I love it. That look at that Ferrari. The Las Vegas Ferrari is absolutely stunning to see it on track. So yeah, and the performance is really showing as well. So very, very impressed by what this team is doing.
Let's see if he lives up to his name when we get to Las Vegas next week. Of course, we already had our first Grand Prix in Qatar, which went off that hitch. Cheo taking the victory, bringing home Grovey in second place. Very close race that was. And I genuinely did think Pope she was going to take her first win that night, but it wasn't to be. But I have to wait and see when we get to Vegas next time out to see who's got the luck in and put off that roll of the dice and take the win.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in Mexico. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic to watch it. Obviously, literally none of us know what could happen. So it's our first time racing there in the IDL. So I'm absolutely ecstatic. But I do wish I was racing there. I cannot lie.
Oh, sorry, you got to stick up here with me, me now. It's been a season. I mean, the thing is, you still haven't even done all the races. At some point, we'll have to make sure you've done every single circuit on the calendar before we can let you go back to racing if you ever want to.
Yeah, there'll be one circuit which I'll never commentate for, and you know exactly which one that is.
No,
Actually,
I'll let you do it last
I
time.
actually won this year, and it's called Monaco. So did not know I am actually the season 15 Monaco race winner.
I have not missed hearing that in the
Yes.
slightest, not at all. Anyway, but honestly, no,
I mean-
we have to get you commentating Monaco at some stage. We need to do it. I'm sorry, but it has to be done.
Maybe.
You need to suffer as I have, man. All right. Anyway.
So we see a lot of these cars now on outlaps, going for their final runs. I cannot wait to see this leaderboard. We saw it in China, I think, was it last season? I think I commentated on China.
But that was when it was
And
still wet.
where we saw, yeah, it was absolutely chaos to see the times dropping. So I'm sure we will see something very, very similar here today.
So far today, we have Websy and PJ both put themselves on provisional pole at certain stages. And we had that last time. So Grovey goes fastest. Ooh, by 2 seconds or so.
1:16.2. Wow, that's a fantastic lap time. But is it a little bit too early to be setting that lap time? That's my only question is, it's fantastic to get it in and it's great to be pole, but is that just a bit too early for this track?
Is that what you want
to be at his peak?
Yeah, very true. I see PJ on his way through here as well. He's looking probably about a 1 minute 18, 1 minute 17 right now if he comes to the last couple of corners. 1:21 was his previous effort. Everyone is on fresh softs. I'm loving the look of this, Pope. 1 minute to go. We're into the final 40 seconds of the session. PJ goes second. That'll be the best he can hope for. I see Dan over the line. I'm seeing I see the Williams that's not Webb, Courtney Goblin over the line, who in this qualifying session making a rare appearance. You love to see it from Courtney Goblin out onto the circuit with half a minute to go in this session. Going into turn one, anyone making it out now, wasting their time and tyres at this point. Anyone on outlap is more or less finished. Grumio may not actually make it, to be fair. Actually, he's close. I think he should do it. And I think he's going to have the last laugh here, I reckon. I don't think anyone else is going to make it in time. Fan might not make it. It's going to be close. Towards the line. It's only just. BJ didn't make it.
That was close. And yeah, shame for BJ, who is now completely out of that session. And that's a lap time that was set on intermediates or very early softs. I'm not too sure which one it was, so it's not looking great there for the other Mercedes. Nicholas gets a 1:15.9. That's a fantastic lap time, but will anyone be able to beat it? We're going to have to wait and see.
Here comes Dan, his first car through. 5 seconds up in the second sector. That's a 57-second split. That's fantastic stuff. I'd see just what we're expecting the cars behind as well. Conley Godwin, the one but through behind him, if I remember correctly. Yes, he will. Dan is into the last right-hander now. And I see Cott coming through the third car in here. We could be in trouble here, Pope. Here comes Dan. Over the line. Takes away 4th place. Courtney goes 6th. Where is Cott? Out the final corner. He's done enough. He's taken pole by 3/10. But it's not over yet.
Wow.
Here comes Websy over the line.
Fantastic lap time by Scott.
Websy doesn't quite do it and just misses out. One of the McLarens in the pit lane. That's PJ's in. Gregorians goes P9. Next car through will be Grumio. Here we go. Moment of truth here. Can the qualifying maestro put it on pole in Mexico? He cannot. He misses out but goes P3.
Oh.
Can anyone match Cott? I don't think they can.
No, that is done. Lucky is pulled over to the side, so it will be Cott, who's done a fantastic 1:15.6. What a cracking lap time that is for the Aston Martin, but obviously it's only pole position. So you never know what can happen in a race. I've won this race from P12 on the grid.
Can I ask what season that was? Was I here for that?
Season 11. It was actually my championship.
So a few races before I showed up.
A few races before, Zach was here. I did win this race from P12. So it just shows you how good the overtaking opportunities is here at Mexico.
We'll see if Cott can get away and try and take another victory. He starts on pole with Nicholas alongside him on the run towards that first corner. Grumio lines up 3rd, Grovey in 4th, and PJ Keller rounds off your top 5. So that is your starting order on your screen there for the Mexican Grand Prix, round 20 of the championship. We're back here in a few minutes' time for the start of the race. Welcome back then, people. Welcome back to the Mexican Grand Prix. Round number 20 of Season 15 of the Racers Driving League. Zach and Pope at it once again for the first time in quite a few weeks to bring you all the action. It's our first race together since Japan, Pope, which was like ages ago at this point.
Yeah, it was a very, very long time ago. Obviously, Qatar, there was a couple of connection issues. And then USA, obviously, wasn't able to be here. So, yeah, we missed 2 previous weeks, which is, it's been quite sad. I've missed it.
It's been a lonely time without having each other on the comms box. But we are back now, and we're ready to cap off the last 4 rounds of this season. Mexico, Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi, and then the reverse grid finale in Brazil. And soon we will be able to reveal what song Pope is going to sing at the final round. We won't do it yet. We'll keep you guys in suspense for just a few more weeks. Or perhaps we might wait till the day if we remember remember what he's going to sing. But Pope, have you got a song in mind for us? Don't tell us what it is, but have you got a song in mind?
I do have a song in mind. I do have a very, very, very good song in mind. Some people might already know what it is if they know me very, very well. Or follow my private Instagram, but yeah, I do have a song in mind.
We look forward to hearing it when the reverse grid finale rolls around. It's a few weeks' time, mid-December, so hope you guys are looking forward to that one as well. Hope you're looking forward to the last 4 rounds of the season. If you are new here, then make sure to get subscribed for all future RDL content, because this is the one bit of my channel that's consistent week upon week. So here we go then, formation lap getting underway here. Cott and Nicholas on the front row in the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. 17 cars in the race tonight, and a bit of a mixed tyre choice here, Pope. 4 cars starting on the soft tyres.
Yeah, and 3 cars starting on the hard tyres. That's going to be an absolute pain to start this race on, I do have to say. So Cott is going to have to use their pace that they showed in qualifying to really stretch an advantage if they want a good start, but that makes it very, very exciting. Turn 1 for us.
Well, according to my the helmet on my screen, Max Verstappen wants to drive an Aston Martin now for some odd reason, despite his Red Bull sponsorship. So Cott will pull it into the first spot. I mean, he's certainly driven like Verstappen so far. I see that continues on with another win today, looking for 3 from 4. And Nicholas pulling up alongside. Nicholas still yet to add to his 1 race win from Italy about 5 rounds ago at the stage. I think maybe 6, not sure. My maths will correct itself at some stages. The last 2 cars take their places. Aston Martin's bookending both ends of the grid. Slazenger dead last, Cott on pole, and 15 other cars between them as a championship fight will look to move on to the next round. 4 rounds left to go in this RDL Season 15. The lights are on here in Mexico. And it's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Good to get away from Nicholas. On your right-hand side, who charge into the lead as they go towards that long run into the first corner. Cott got bogged down horribly there. Grubby to the inside of the racetrack. Going for second place. They fight for that first right-hander. Everyone spreads out evenly as they make their way down into the corner. Have to be careful. Going for any dives to the inside. Grumio looking underneath. Contact between Cott, Grubby and Grumio. Yellow flag behind them. Not sure who that is. No one's spun around. Everyone's saying that Curtis. 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Contact around the car around. Going to an Alfa Romeo. Curtis is around.
Yeah, it's such a shame for Curtis there, and that's what you get here at Mexico. The turn 1 chicane, that first braking zone is so dangerous for these drivers because you're travelling at X of 200 miles an hour, so I'm not surprised with the contact. And obviously, it's a shame that Curtis is the one that spun out, but Nicholas with a fantastic start, and like I said, Cott really bogged down on those hard tyres.
He's down 6
Yeah, not
places.
surprised by that.
Awful start for the pole sitter. And last week's winner, looking to try and close it up as quickly as he can here. Grumio here with a golden chance right now. Fan started back in P14 for this race from what I can see here. And right now he sits P15. So Grumio is getting 18 points as it stands right now. And Websy just outside of the points too. So everything he's getting right now is profit. They want that race lead away from Nicholas as soon as he can as we near the start lap number 2.
Yeah, these Mercedes have not had a great start here in Mexico. Definitely not what they expected, but BJ on the hard tyres will be making that stint very, very long, and Fan on the mediums, so kind of following the majority of the pack.
Slazenger into the pit lane here. He's already picked up. I think he's already picked up damage early on, and Curtis stays out. So he may have gotten away with it there, but unfortunately, to be involved in that first lap skirmish. End plate missing on the Aston Martin. It's a wing change in the offing for Slazenger as he makes his way in for the number 3 Aston Martin.
Ooh,
what's going on?
Imrie and PJ, very, very close. Imrie really did struggle on the exit of turn 3 and kind of pushed PJ onto the grass there, so PJ will be getting a little bit angry in the cockpit of that car. It is a Ferrari round. It's lucky, such a shame. There, obviously these tyres have just not warmed up to this track surface so far for these drivers.
And Curtis came very close to running into the back of the Ferrari, which wouldn't have been good for either one of them. Nicholas still leads it. He's got 1 second advantage, Pope. We've got half a lap here till DRS comes into play. 3 DRS zones on the circuit, of course the most crucial one being that long main straight, one of the longest we see on the season calendar.
Yeah, that straight is just crazy, and the toe is fantastic in this game. I've always said how powerful DRS is in this game, and let's see if these drivers will use it as DRS will be activated now. As Imri really struggling here. Another little mistake there as PJ is now up on the inside of Imri. It's an absolute drag race, which it looks like PJ will be winning.
Here comes Dan.
Never say never, because here comes Dan out of absolutely nowhere. We had a return of Randall Keefe at Survivor Series over the weekend. We just had a return of Daniel Aaron in that Red Bull powering his way through that fight, taking P4. It's P3, P4 for the Red Bull team. Very good start for them.
Definitely one of the best starts they've had in recent weeks. I mean, of course, they're looking for points these last rounds. They've been a team resurgent since Grovy's arrival and since Dan's return to the team. So look at it's good to see them.
This battle between Imri and PJ, they just made contact. Imri having a half spin with a little bit of a tap from PJ. These two are really going tooth and nail. Looks like rivals fighting here. It's fantastic to watch.
Hopefully they both keep it clean for the remainder of their skirmish together, and we'll see what happens when the DRS comes into play this time around. Is it going to come into play? Yes, it is. Imri's got it, but he's got a clock to continue with as well. Imri goes wide. There goes the Aston Martin to the left-hand side of the racetrack. Into the corner they go, into that braking zone. Imri has the edge on the inside. Cott has to back out of it, and Imri maintains 6th place and will look to try and close on PJ to get that DRS back for the last, with a run down the main straight, but he hasn't got it though. Cott will have full chance of taking P6 away when they come down the main straight, but will Grumio look for the lead though? He's going to lap 4.
Yeah, Grumio obviously now in that DRS zone. Within 1 second, if you did not know, you have to be within 1 second of the driver ahead to get the DRS. So let's see what Grumio does. Whoa! That is stellar on the brakes there by Grumio. I've never seen anything like that before. Wow!
Grumio strutting his stuff behind the race leader Nicholas Mayer on that soft-tired Alfa Romeo, and I was watching Cott is now around Imri. Imri down to P9 here. He's lost several places to JB and Websy. The mistakes keep on coming for poor Imri, who continues slipping down the order here. And C110E sandwich. Oh, contact! And he's hit Websy!
Oh, Websy in the wall. Someone who I've just absolutely praised this entire season. He's got no front wing. That's going to be a very long journey back to the pit lane. Yeah, contact from behind from Imri.
That was quite a shunt, to be honest. I mean, I was watching from a angle higher up, but that was a lot more than perhaps we would have anticipated from what looked to be a simple collision, perhaps a mere love tap, if that. But Websy has obviously come off the worst here. Imri continuing to struggle here. Fans go around for P8, and Courtney Goblin may want revenge for his teammate. You never know. If he can't handle BJ first, he might try an opportunity here in the last couple of corners. Might try and go for it on the main straight. We'll keep an eye on these two. And up front, Grumio continues to try and run down Nicholas for the lead. I'll keep it on this braking you were talking about, Pipe. I want to have a look at this.
It's completely fantastic. It just gains so much. I've never seen braking like it. It's really crazy. I'm very impressed.
I think if you expect anything less from a 6-time champion of the series, and that's on you, if I'm being entirely honest, but he's closing that gap all the more. It's gone down from a full second to about a quarter of a second here in the space of just 4 corners. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, Grumio's really strutting his stuff, like you say, Zach. It's really good, but I'm very impressed by the teamwork that the Red Bull team are now doing. The P3 and P4, I want to see what they can do. Obviously, Grovy's her introduction has been absolutely revitalised this team. It's been absolutely fantastic for the Red Bull team, and we're going to see if she can kind of lead this team now. Obviously, Dan's got them already experience, but Grovy, who is, like I said, not had a finish below P5 so far in her career. Let's see if she can keep that momentum going.
Of course, Dan's return to the team can't be understated as well. The combination of the pair of them arriving at just the right time, when it looked perhaps that they might fall under threat of the Williams team. Of course, Websy has been on fire for them this season, scored the majority of the points compared to Courtney Goblin. Of course, has done his fair share and picked up a solid number of points this season. But of course, he's been, I'm sure he won't be too cross with saying this, he's been far and away behind his teammate in the standings.
Yeah, I mean, Websy is literally a P3 in the standings. It's just an incredible season for Websy himself. And I remember, I go back to the media reporting about how the Williams teams were really struggling after Bahrain, how they've turned that around as we see Cott making a move around PJ. That's a beautiful move there by Cott. The hard tyres now kind of coming into their own a little bit, but PJ's got a run back.
Here he comes.
And you see that red light flashing in the back of the car of Cott, which means he's below 10% ERS. So PJ will be feeling pretty good about the pace right now in that McLaren, who have done very well this season as well. A very good mid-table team, with obviously PJ and Ethan leading it for most of the time, but obviously Pogorian's taking Ethan's spot as of now because Ethan's not with us this week.
I see Fan running in 7th place right now. He's just managed to make his way around JB's Ferrari. We'll keep an eye on PJ and Cott, because Cott's put out a massive advantage since I looked away. Oh, he looked away for a few seconds. What? He's already 8/10 to the good. On hard tyres, no less.
Yeah, it seemed that...
Oh, he crashed. Yellow flags out.
Oh,
Lucky Lambert. Safety cars deployed.
lucky out of this session as well, so... This is great for the soft tyre runners like Nicholas, who's now pitting, which is fantastic. And even Grumio, wow, okay, a lot of the...
Dan stays out. Cott coming in.
So Dan staying out. Okay, this is... Obviously, being an ex-driver, strategy is a massive thing for us. For me personally, Cott should have stayed out. I don't know why you would have come in this early. Maybe it'd be a 2-stop onto mediums, medium, yeah, that could work, but... the hard tyres were really doing Cott well there, and track position could have been very, very crucial going into the race. We've seen how hard the drivers struggled in the first few laps to warm up these tyres and seemingly have no grip, it looked like, for most of them. So we'll see what the safety car will do, because your tyres do get very, very cold during the safety car period.
I wonder if you are right in terms of Cott's situation, if he's going on to a set of mediums and another set, and then perhaps banking on a safety car, another one appearing later on in the race, which obviously is a possibility. And of course, this gives a lifeline for drivers like Schlesinger, Curtis, Websey, who are all at the back of the field by quite a way here, and have a chance to catch up and try and make some places back.
Yeah, no, like I say, this is where it goes a little bit skew with now during this race. But we'll have a look at the positions now. Dan, obviously staying out during the safety car, but have done fantastic so far. 7 positions gained, with Pogorians being the biggest gainer right now of 9 positions in P4, so very, very well done to those two. Biggest loser undoubtedly is Websey, due to the little collision that he had with Imri. And yeah, like you said, from a high angle it didn't look too bad. I was actually on board with Imri when it happened. It looked like the littlest touch, so that Williams really had a lack of stability in the rear, and it's just really not paid off for Websey. However, this safety car will have helped him massively.
I'll be honest, I listened to that. I think we need to think of a different name for the driver who's lost the most places. Call it biggest loser. Probably won't be taken very well by whoever it is each week. So we need to think of something else for that. So that we're supposed to do for under this safety car. Dan into the pit lane now, so he's onto a set of soft tyres. So Nicholas now leads once again. Grumio now in 2nd place. Pogorian's up in 3rd, of course, stayed out. The only driver who has now displayed. Grovey in 4th, Cott in 5th, PJ 6th, Fam runs in 7th, JB 8th, Emery 9th, and BJ runs off your top 10. Behind them then Shane, Connie Goblin now in P12, Dan emerges 13th, Curtis 14th, Slash Volvo 15th, Websey 16th, and Lucky Lambert the only car out of the race.
Yeah, obviously, I'm just trying to think of a name for biggest loser. It just reminds me of Impractical Jokers, to be honest. But yeah, I'm absolutely stumped. I definitely can't lie. I'm really not too sure on what to say with that. I've got nothing going on in my head.
I reckon we'll probably turn to AI for that sort of thing in order to try and figure out just.
We can't trust AI.
So
AI will take our jobs.
On the safety car, just get like ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, this is the good thing about safety cars. It does allow just to take a break in the race. So we've covered everything that we need to. And it's obviously great development for these storylines of these drivers, and we always like to push that. But obviously, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but a league that I co-created is sadly shut down today. It will be having its final race tomorrow, so I just want to say I lost to BRC, our champion there, many times, and a lot of drivers have actually moved from BRC to here, so it's quite a sad time. So. But obviously, it's still good to see we have leagues like RDL which have been able to stand the test of time, really, and it's all credit to JB. But yeah, quite a sad time for myself.
Yeah, 15 seasons this league is going for. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's ridiculous.
If I count, this is the 8th. By my count, this is the 8th game that this league has been on. If we're doing two seasons per game, if I count here. So 23 will be 8th game. So 22, 21, 20. Sorry, no, it is again.
I think it was 2018 it started.
20, 19, 20, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys, if they're doing full season start. I had to get someone to verify that for us off stream once we sorted this. So we'll have to come back to you guys and answer that on next week if someone reminds us. And also, Pope, it's at this point in the
Probably
race.
JPL website.
It's at this point in the race that I'm going to ask you. We did this last time at the very end of the stream, but I'm going to do it midway through now for some people have got to watch it to find it. What is our word of the race?
Word of the race. Oh, Zooey Mama. What would the word of the race be? I'm gonna go S section. Does that count as a word?
That counts as
It's
a word.
hyphened. Yeah, I'll do S section. I think X section. Yeah, obviously we did it and last time. It was actually really fun. I enjoyed it, but I think S section will be the one.
Okay, right then. So anyone who's been anyone come back to watch the stream after the race, if you see this bit, make sure to comment S section down below, as well as your thoughts on Pope's commentary. So,
Should be sexy and sublime. That's the only two words you should use.
anyway, okay, we'll cross the bridge when we come to it, alright? Okay, anyway, safety car in this lap. I see Webbsy still closing in on the back of the pack. He could be going full guns blazing when the green flag flies here. Actually, saying that, no, he is catching up to Sargent at the back, though. But regardless, so Nicholas will lead us to the green flag once again. Grumio sits in second, and Pagorian's in third place. Look at Nicholas there, going all the way up the racetrack there in the stadium to really get those tyres up to temperature as best he can. Will Grumio get away on the restart? I have to wait and see.
I mean, Nicholas will need to warm up those hard tyres. They're going to be absolute freezing going into turn one. But here we go. Guns are blowing off full throttle right through turns 16 and 17. Let's see what these drivers could do. Nicholas got a very, very good start.
Probably
But
getting right to work.
by the end of the lap, I'm not too sure if they'll be able to keep that. Like I said, Grovey and Cott getting right to work. Pagorians, who obviously did not pit during the safety car,
Pulling back.
losing a few positions there.
Goal places down, and Nicholas gets away nice and easy, but Grumio is still there, just constantly haranguing him, trying to take position away as best he can. He's not closing in just yet. He wants to save that battery for a little bit before we get back to racing again. Or probably back to racing, but everyone keeps keeping it nice and clean in this restart so far. No change there. Everyone is all clean. Webb's the upper place here. He's up to P15 now.
Yeah, incredible move here by JB up the inside of Fan. What a fantastic move by Ferrari. Will he be able to complete it? Yeah, he can. And Imri sneaking past through Fan as well. Fan, oh, bit of collision there between Imri and JB. Imri getting involved in a lot of incidents so far. Really just not able to get that AlphaTauri under his grip.
Balls towards the tail end of the field now. He's down to P15. Only Schlesinger is in front of. Oh, he's pulling it over. He's allowed everyone through. Has he got damage at all?
I'm not too sure. It might be rear wing damage or something like that. I'm not too sure. But we see, is that Pagorian's going into pit?
Indeed
There it is.
5-second penalty of
Got
speeding
speed
in the
in the pit lane as well.
Imri's in too.
Obviously, something that I really detest seeing is those speeding in the pit lane penalties. It obviously sometimes it can't be helped, but it is a very big shame. As we see Grumio taking the lead as well.
He's got it.
We did miss that. Obviously, not surprising with being on the better tyres now. Grumio needs to bolt. Try and get that gap ahead of Nicholas as Grovey pushes towards Nicholas. Maybe even on for a podium right now. Obviously, Cop 5 behind, who is a big threat, no doubt. But I'd like to see these two are on different tyres, so do keep that in mind.
Of course, so Colt could be looking at another strategy potentially for the rest of the race here, looking at another set of medium tyres. So we're hoping for a safety car, but of course these guys in front of him will be hoping for the exact opposite. They hope to just keep running what they've got right now. Grumio out to 7/10, almost 8 here over Nicholas, who has got simultaneously 6 or 7 over Grovey, who has got a rearview mirror full of Cot Fire, which I can tell you after just a few weeks is not a nice sight you want to see in the mirror of your race car. Keep an eye on PJ behind him. Dark Horse looking to try and swipe back P4 if he can, but that could be a rather fruitless task, Pope.
Yeah, I do have to say the Aston Martin team, since their reintroduction here in Formula 1, has been an absolute dominant force in RDL. It really, really has. Ever since 2021, with that guy taking the Season 11 championship in an Aston Martin. At least it wasn't Monaco. As you see Cot 5 making a move down the inside, showing what the Aston Martin, what the green machine can do.
Oh, that was close.
Fantastic move there. That's a great move. And obviously Grovey on nearly only 10% at ERS, not looking good for the Red Bull, but will definitely keep him pace. These guys are really, really using this ERS. It's quite telling of how competitive the grid actually is, because obviously the ERS gives you a boost, gives you more speed, better acceleration, higher straight line speed. So it shows you how fast these drivers are actually pushing.
Definitely. I mean, I made the argument a few days ago. I'd argue this is better than the F1 Esports series, which has started again at the weekend. This is far better because we have drivers who are close to each other, but we can also have a decent, almost realistic to actual Formula 1 that sort of race, save for which cars are in front.
Yeah, I do love this idea of like the pack can split. Obviously in esports it really doesn't. It's a lot of train racing. It's a lot down to just the little bits. At this point in RDL, it's obviously some drivers are, no offense to anyone, but substantially quicker because for whatever reason might be just better at the track or just got more experience.
Inside of Nicholas there, going to turn 1.
Yeah.
And
Cut 5.
PJ
Already
challenging
making that move before turn 1. That just shows you how long that straight line speed, how long that straight is, especially with DRS activated. And PJ obviously got a penalty. We'll have a look at what that is. A 3-second time penalty, I assume, from corner cutting. Looking really good. That McLaren's looking really racy here.
Definitely. Just a shame Pogorians isn't in the same boat right now. But of course, he did decent in the first stint of this race before the safety car came out. Looking at it, Dan. Oh, Dan making a move on Shane there, getting very, very elbows out there against the Haas machine. And those Red Bulls are a force to be reckoned with on the racetrack, Pope, as Shane and Curtis go side by side for the last point of the rostrum. Just behind them there, 2.5 seconds back, Websy has gotten around Schlesinger and around his teammate Courtney Goblin. And now he's on the move, trying to close up to the points paying places to try and get some points and keep his championship alive. And speaking of the championship, Fan in P6 right now, so he's not doing too badly in terms of those points. He's still maintaining a lead, so it's not too bad for him.
Yeah, the Red Bulls have got their horns out so far, so I love seeing the Red Bull team being aggressive. I think it is a team that is meant to be aggressive, and it's good to see the drivers really building into that.
Definitely, without a doubt. Grumio there still leads 1.3 seconds to the good over Cott. Now these two, I'm yet to really see these two duel for the lead on a dry track on equal tyres. I don't think I've actually seen this yet since Cott has arrived. Of course, when he first came to the league in Japan, Grumio was still in a bit of off form, despite having taken his first win since Australia back in Singapore, if my memory serves me correctly, which I think it does. He's taken just, that's a mad thing to think that Grumio, if I count this again, just to remind myself, sorry, the game will go on pause for a moment here. I'm just going to count. Grumio has won just the 3 races this season. Those races being Jeddah, Australia, and Singapore. So that's mad to think that he's still in a position to win a 7th championship potentially, should he close the season out.
Yeah, it shows that even though he's had an off season, it's still really not an off season for a lot of drivers. It's incredible points score, even with just 3 wins. So very impressive. We see a yellow flag and it's Shane
out.
blown
Safety
Haas
car's out.
as another safety car.
And he's lost at the X section.
Now this is a difficult decision. If I was on the medium tyres and you have the hard spare, I would jump onto those hard tyres. That is what I would do, and it looks like Grumio will be doing that. Will Cott be doing the same? Cott obviously started on the hard tyres, so I think it has to be another set of mediums there for Cott, I assume.
PJ stays out. PJ stays out. Nicholas and Groby both in. Fan is in. BJ's in. Mercedes double stacking here. That can't be good for BJ. JB is in. Dan is in. Curtis, Schlesinger, Websy. Courtney Goblin stays out. Only just. Pogorians yet to see what he's doing. Chances are probably stay out. I think Imri might actually pick off those soft tyres, to be honest. Groby onto soft tyres. That's quite an off-colour decision, if I'm being honest with myself. Pope, what do you think?
Yeah, soft tyres is really, really risky at this point in the race. So I'm very, very shocked about that. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. Obviously, Groby's been on those softs. We've seen them do a 4-stop race and become, was it P3, P4 in that race? It was just remarkable.
That was Singapore.
I don't
like 4 or 5 stocks and came home 5th.
Yeah, it was her debut race. It was genuinely fantastic to watch. So I don't hold any strategy thing on Grovey. I can't really say anything. But obviously, Grumio going into the hard as expected. Cott, as expected, going on those mediums. Courtney Goblin. P4. I love it. There's nothing more to say. I just love it. It's fantastic. It's obviously on those hard tyres. One more safety car. I'm just saying,
He
Carney
in
could
there.
be in with a chance. Yeah. I'd never say never. Never say never.
We're never doing this league. We'll continue to stand by that. And PJ's staying out as well, but he's on medium tyres, so his tyres won't last as long. But saying that, didn't he come in like a lap later than everyone? Oh no, sorry, that was Dan last time around. Everyone except for PJ, Cotney, and Imri on fresh tyres right now. On their
Yeah, Imri on those 4-lap hold hards. Obviously, I think repeated onto those hards. I'm pretty certain under this safety car because he went onto the soft. So, yeah, Imri should be able to take those tyres all the way. It'll be a bit of a chore by the end of it, but should be good. Someone who we've not really mentioned this race is Schlesinger. Obviously had a qualifying bad, or I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
P10, fantastic recovery so far. Obviously in a point, Schlesinger's done very well, and that Aston Martin team is deadly with Cot 5 and Schlesinger. Absolutely deadly team. Once again showing how good Aston Martin have been since their return to Formula 1.
Without doubt, I mean, they've taken 2 of the last 4 drivers' championships. One of them coming your point, the other one last season going to Grumio at the death of the season. I believe this is one of the last few races before he wrapped the championship, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Grumio, obviously, in the Aston Martin was good. I feel like Grumio has been in the Aston Martin a couple times, actually. I think they actually took a third championship.
When would that have been? Would that have been...
It was the season after mine. It was season 12.
You are incorrect, sir, because Lando took the title from the AlphaTauri, and Grumio wasn't even driving for Aston Martin. He was driving for Renault.
What? I thought it was Aston... I'm
You're
very,
thinking of
very
last season when he
confused
drove for Aston Martin alongside Landlord and fought Che for the title.
Oh, I'm very, very lost here. I'm lost in my seasons.
Thing is, though, you got to remember that you were also driving, so your brains are more for the stuff going on track, whereas my brain is conserved for all the stats off of the track. So you're thinking of season 12. Neither one of the Landlord or Grumio, who was then Blaze, in the Aston Martin. Oh, can't listen to the pit lane. Right, so that'll be the end of the dream there.
Oh, heartbroken.
Oh. In fairness,
Genuinely heartbroken.
Wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking the mediums are near the end of their run. The mediums are about 12 laps or so. But PJ could be in trouble. Now, I don't know about you, Pope, but I'm getting deja vu from like 10 laps ago.
Yeah. This was the same time we had the safety car, I'm pretty certain, as well. It's been a bit repetitive so far. We're halfway through the race, but PJ is in a very, very, very vulnerable spot. But let's see what the McLaren has looked racing on doubt, so we'll see what we can do. But when you've got a 6-time champion of Grumio in your rearview mirror, even I would be shaking in my boots, and yeah, that starts saying something.
Definitely. That's a wait and see move.
So, Zach, as the safety car's about to come in, I assume, any predictions for your race winner right now?
I think it's honestly too hard to call one, but if I had to, I'd say Websy.
What?
I'm kidding. As much as I'd like to see that. Honestly, I want to say Grumio or Cott are the favourites, but you can't. But we've got 19 laps to go. But anything could still happen, and I think we could have any winner from the top 5 of this race or so. So Grumio, Cott, Nicholas, Grovey, they've all been up there. I say even Dan. If worse comes to worse, the cars in front, everyone has a fair shot to win this race. Anything could still happen. It's Mexico, for crying out loud. There's still plenty of racing to go, and PJ could be a massive spanner in the works in this restart to the race. So our former race leader Grumio, who will want that top spot back as soon as possible.
Yeah, PJ now decided to go the traction up. McLaren was fantastic. Overtake deployed. Gonna cut to the inside. I hate when drivers do this. It's just annoys the living crap out of me. I cannot lie. But it brings it so. There's Nicholas making a move on Cot 5.
He's just driving outside of Grumio.
Wow.
Oh, Nicholas takes the lead. Grumio goes down to 5th. Contact.
Oh, Grovey.
Grovey
Push it.
the circuit.
Oh, this has been very scrappy.
Oh,
this is
Nicholas
what
in
Mexico's
the lead.
all about.
PJ maintains 2nd.
Really taking the advantage of all that, but even though Grumio was going literally sideways at one point, staying in P4 is very, very impressive.
Grovey almost very nearly took all of them in the run for position there. Fan stays in 6th place. He's holding off Dan right now in the 7th spot. Keep an eye on these guys. I mean, I just said to you, anything could still happen, and it almost did just a couple moments ago.
Yeah, it shows you
Cop
the mind of the RDL. Obviously, Grovey making the move past Grumio on those softer tyres.
Oh, it's
Don't
close.
expect
Not over
Grumio
yet.
staying in there though. Ooh, pushing Grovey round. This is it. It's a side-to-side battle. Bit of tyre rubbing. This is going to just be a bit unfortunate here for PJ, as that Red Bull on soft tyres will sweep past that McLaren.
I don't think he's going to fight it, to be fair. This seems very similar to real life for me. It's a Red Bull side by side with the McLaren. Grovey on the inside going towards turn 1 on those soft tyres, which aren't doing all the good right now. Here comes Grovey around the outside. Will he go Daredevil to the inside of PJ? He won't try to do it. Grovey at the inside though, and PJ may just lose another position here. And he will. Grovey takes away the 3rd spot and will start chasing down Cott now in the race for that 2nd spot. But Cott has a penalty, but given the nature of that incident, might he get removed perhaps? Is that a question for the stewards?
It's definitely a question for the stewards. However, someone who has been in the driver's seat and had those type of penalties, more than likely, yes, will be removed due to the slight contact beforehand. What I'm looking at is the setups of these cars. Now we see Grovey definitely has a high downforce setup. Grumio has had fantastic straight line speed this entire race. Even though Grovey will gain during this S section, the stadium section, I want to see if Grumio will catch, and how much will Grumio catch on that start-finish straight.
I mean, he's done a fantastic job with the DRS who's advanced so far, but he's not got that this time round. He's 1.5 seconds back, and they've still got a lap or so until DRS gets deployed, so still a lot of time to think about it. Grovey is still probably working up more, thinking about chasing down Cott, who is closing the gap rapidly to Nicholas, almost within DRS range. They are from out to be careful. He's looking for a 2nd win of the season and of his career, but it could happen for anyone here.
Yeah, no, I don't think you've really counted anyone out. I want to see what those
Fans
tyres
get
are
wide.
gonna be like.
Contact!
Oh my lord. These drivers are really putting absolutely everything into this race and really putting on a spectacle for us, aren't they? Wow. What a lovely free wide moment there. A little bit of time rubbing, but that's what you expect from those type of moments.
JB to the inside, could go 3 wide here. BJ might try and thread the needle between the two of them to get to his teammate. Fan maintaining P6, down in 5th. Grumio still 4th there, working on closing the gap to Grovey, but can't quite do it just yet. Dan, I mean, might be getting closer to Grumio, if I'm honest. Those hard tyres.
Yeah, the hard tyres obviously will not be in the right window as of yet. And Dan, who has been absolutely pacey this race so far, is really putting on a show. I just think another 17, 16 laps on those medium tyres, they are going to be by the death. I might just say Grumio might be able to take a nice, comfortable win if he can just keep the car in a straight line.
I have to wait and see. I mean, and it could still happen in this race. I still wouldn't put past anyone, least of all Grumio, to sorry, that's what I'd say it. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past anyone to crash out this race right now, especially given just how on the edge it's been so far. I've seen Grumio almost spin out from nothing in times of the past. I think back to Silverstone a couple of seasons ago. I think season 13. I'm thinking, or perhaps even last year. I'm not sure, but I've seen it happen before, and it could happen again potentially.
Yeah, like you said, anything can happen here at RDL. I was to see PJ just falling down the grid as of now, as Cott makes a move for P1.
Taking the lead.
Right before going out of the first sector, going into the second sector, so it gets a little bit more technical, and this is where Cott seems to have the advantage. The way that the car just could ride over the curbs is really, really impressive to watch.
Of course, well, Ryan Borden is over here, making his way through. Yeah, you just see the precision from the steering, nice and easy, keeps the car so smooth, so under control. He's getting about half a second there off Nicholas, so he'll get it right back to the DRS, and I reckon he could be in fine shape to try and retake the lead. If I'm honest with you, we'll have to wait and see as he comes into the main straight. Let's see if Cott can gain anything in this last sector.
Yeah, these guys just probably going to be switching positions now for the rest of this race, no doubt. Obviously, depending on the exit, going through turn 16 and 17. This could give Grovey a good chance to kind of catch up a little bit. I think Grovey's definitely expecting one more safety car with that strategy call with the going on the softs.
It'll probably be a set of mediums to the end if she's got any sets left. I'm not sure if she has at this stage. Grumio defending P4 from Dan and Fan. Looking at a rhyming game there. Fan all the way on the inside, almost on the grass there. Into turn 1 they go. Very close there. Fan backs out of it. Dan on the inside steals 4th place away.
Fantastic move by Dan. That was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, on the inside, Fan had to give way, but Dan said, I fancy that. Going round the outside and then down the inside of 6-time champion Grumio. That is something to put on your CV for next season.
Without a doubt. I see JB and Schlesinger battling for P8 behind them. Schlesinger making his way up. Aston Martin, as you keep saying, are in another league right now compared to the rest of the field, just in terms of driver line, because those two are crushing things right now, of course, as are Red Bull, who I think are almost like the McLaren pairing in real life Formula 1. I just see similarities there in terms of performance. Grumio there is still in 5th place, and look who's behind him, the championship leader Fan. Of course, we haven't discussed the championship much tonight, but it's still up for grabs. I mean, with still plenty of rounds to go, and Fan right now, seeing Grumio in front of him, despite the fact he'd much rather have him behind, is a good situation for the championship leader right now.
Yeah, I think Fan, like I said in qualifying, if you guys went there, I was saying, you have to just consistently score these points. It doesn't matter necessarily about where you're finishing, as long as you're getting points, you're still able to nerf what the other drivers are getting. That's the best way to look at it. It's not about winning the race, it's about scoring those points. Points are crucial.
I still see Grumio trying to fight his way back around Dan here. Grumio's away, 3.6 seconds in front of her teammate, but still 2.9 behind Nicholas, who's still keeping pace with Cott, but isn't getting close to the challenge for the lead yet.
Yeah, no, Nicholas is kind of just sitting back a little bit, gaining some ERS. We haven't talked about ERS too much today, but the ERS is in Nicholas's favour right now, 48-20. That must be a fault going through Cott's mind. We see a yellow flag.
Looks like Courtney Goblin then, potentially.
Yeah, it looks like Courtney's got a bit of damage. It looks like maybe even Imri caught in it. PJ.
Imri has and no end plate.
Pogori's
no end plate. Okay, both Imri and Courtney have a lost end plate, so probably have to pick this time.
Yeah, those two drivers not really having the best of races, especially Imri, who has seemed to be involved in a lot of squabbling so far.
Cop 5 is away here, 1.2 seconds to the good now over Nicholas, who won't even get DRS this time, so that could be potentially what he would, it will be what he would have wanted, without a doubt. Fans, the inside of Grumio, the two championship protagonists going wheel to wheel towards turn 1. Grumio gets around Dan there into turn 1. Imri, the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. But Dan maintains 4th.
Damn fantastic defence there by the Red Bull, but will it be all for nothing, as it looks like Grumio's going to go try and go round the outside, maybe even a switch back onto the inside. Dan's defending this absolutely sublimely. This is very, very impressive there by that Red Bull driver. Actually revitalised as he's rejoined the team late on in the season.
Without a doubt, and of course, was there at the start, moved over to Haas briefly for a spell there. Webb's into P9 now, and in front of BJ, we're now looking to hunt down JB in the Ferrari for 8th. So still looking to try and get some more points to keep himself in 3rd place in the standings and just close a little bit more on Fan if he can. Actually, no, sorry, he won't be closing at all here. He needs some more places in this race. I think the top 4 at least will be out of reach. Sorry, top 3 rather.
Yeah, I think the top 3 are kind of cemented just that a little bit. Then again, it is still a big train from what seems to be Dan downwards, so you never know. Nearly every driver is within DRS. I think it just breaks off at Schlesinger, but not by much, so you never know.
Grumio closing the gap here to Dan. He's going to go sailing past that ball this time. That'll be the place. Can Fan do the same thing? He can't. He's not going to break as late as Grumio did. Webbs into the inside of JB into turn 1. The Williams emerges in front of the Ferrari in a true 90s style battle there, as Grumio now sits in 4th. Dan using his ERS to try and keep pace with the reigning champion, who remains in front for the time being. Fan there in 6th place, looking to try and take advantage of any potential slip up that might come his way. I have to wait and see between these 3 who emerges in 4th place, but Dan with that penalty will not be a factor.
No, I do want to say Webster's done very well to keep 3rd place in the championship, with keeping BJ behind us. Dan's got another 3-second time penalty. I think that's the 2nd one of the race for Dan. So it's not going to be great come at the end of the race once that checker flag falls, but Websy could try and get a couple more positions, try and fight even Sniper Hunter, who we were tipping to win the championship midway through this season, for 2nd place, which shows you the loss of confidence and a lack of form from the other Alpine driver.
If Websy can make his way up 4 more places and put himself into 4th place in this train, then he will take 2nd place in the championship, which is something I didn't think I'd be saying at the start of the season, if I'm honest. But Grumio there is scoring 12 points right now. I think that would be enough to over Websy. 8 points. Actually, I think Websy will still maintain 3rd place, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Yeah, only just that would be very, very, very close between these drivers. One thing that is very close is Dan and Grumio. This is, I was going to call him Blazehead. That's a flash for them. Dan and Grumio really squabbling here. This is just fantastic between those two. I'm very, very impressed. Obviously, it looks a bit Grumio is just kind of taking those tyres to the end of the race rather than pushing. Obviously, got like 54% of the ERS still left. So, you never know. Obviously, Emery down there at the bottom, just ahead of Cardi. Wanted to get that fastest lap, still showing that he does have pace to compete with these fastest drivers, even though he's nowhere near on the track.
It's a bit of a struggle at the opening start of the race, the opening part of the race for him, especially that collision with Websy. Although Websy's recovered quite nicely here, and he's still chasing Slazenger, but he's a 2nd out right now, so he doesn't get DRS just yet. He needs to close a little bit more here. Where is the detection zone? The detection zone is going into this next corner. Can he make it? I think he's just missed out on it. Emery the penalty there. So it's 2 different ends of the story for Ryan Emery.
See, Grovey, she comes into the pits on those 12 holes off there, he must have been crying. Going onto another pair of softs. Okay, different strategy, not what I expected. However, makes sense with only 9 laps left in the race. See where she can recover, obviously now outside the points, and maybe even behind BJ in P12, but I don't think that'll be a battle lasting long compared to fresh softs and 20 lap hole mediums.
He's been on those 20 laps. He's been on those since the first safety car came out. Is he going to stop at all, do you reckon?
I'll be very impressed if he doesn't. I will be very, very impressed.
I feel like someone's done this before, to be honest, just for the sake of keeping the tyres on for as long as they can.
I think it probably was me at some point. I've definitely
that sounds like something you do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan's fallen away at this stage now. Slazenger in 5th, as I say. Fan is only just in DRS range of Grumio, as it stands. Thanks to those pit stops. So they are now racing for the last spot on the podium. Can Grumio recover it? Right now she sits 9 seconds behind Curtis, but if she can close the gap enough, then she could try and nap some more points.
Definitely. I do want to say well done to Cott here. He's pulled 4 seconds out on Nicholas, who Nicholas is no slouch, so to do that just shows the pace Cott has got here at this circuit. It's just absolutely fantastic, and the pace he's shown. This could be 3 out of 4 race wins in a very, very short career for Cott. I think that tie with the most race wins this season, I think.
I'm not sure. I have to look into that.
Which would be rather, rather crazy, I do have to say.
Both Red Bulls now on fresh, soft tyres to get to the end of this race. This could be scary. If we get a safety car, those two will be... Actually, they'll be hoping not to get a safety car at this point. They'll be hoping just to try and close up what time's left. I think a safety car will probably kill them at this stage.
Yeah, I think safety car is not what they are hoping for. What that makes me think, though, is how bad are those medium tyres? If Dan's pit onto softs now, are those medium tyres going to be holding up? This could all just swing back into Grumio's favour.
You never know, because he's on those hard tyres. He's been on them since that second safety car, if my memory is correct. And of course, so everyone, so Cott, Nicholas, Fan, Slazenger, Websy, BJ, Curtis, JB gets a penalty there for multiple warnings. He's on the hard tyres as well, so this could be in his favour too, if he can hold those on. They've done about 20 laps on the hard when they get to the checkered flag. These guys, yeah, we're looking at about 21 laps. So the medium tyres will be crying come the end of this race. It's practically just torture to these inanimate objects that just can't do anything about what these drivers are putting them through week upon week upon week. It sounds almost depressing when you think about it, so I'm going to stop talking about that. We'll keep an eye instead on Fan, chasing Grumio for position with DRS now deployed. In towards turn number 1 they come.
Yeah, that was a very different metaphor as Fan goes to the outside, but just unable to beat the braking of Grumio. I'm genuinely flabbergasted at the braking. It's just very different. It's very bizarre. I've not really seen that kind of braking strategy happen before, especially here at Mexico, but it's working nonetheless.
I'd say, looking at it, you probably got to be about a nose to half a car length in front at the braking zone in order to try and emerge over Grumio out of a corner like this. Curtis taking 7th from BJ, but BJ might come back at him though. Nope, the Alfa Romeo defends inside beautifully and maintains the place. JB there in 9th place right now. Grubby, 3.4 back. She's getting quite a lot in these last 2 laps.
Yeah, these soft tyres are going to be absolutely in their prime. But looking at the pace of PJ, that's a tongue twister and a half. The 20-lap-old mediums really have no pace at all, so it's a bit of a worry for these drivers that are on the 14-lap-old mediums. As Slazenger may have been a little bit of a contact there with Fan, I'm not too sure, but has done a fantastic recovery into P5 and will try and make a move here on Fan going into turn 1.
Looking at a last podium sort of situation here. Grumio getting away from Fan here. And so Slazenger, as I said, we're looking to challenge. Webbsy there in 6th place. Don't count him out just yet, of course. He just needs 2 more spots and he'll take 2nd place in the standings.
Yeah, Webbsy is a tyre whisperer. If anyone's going to take those medium tyres the longest they can, it's definitely Webbsy.
He's got quite a few cars in front of him to deal with as well. Curtis and BJ still fighting for P7. Those two holding each other up, allowing JB and now Grubby to close in as nice 2nd behind. Could we see a masterclass in these soft tyres to try and get around 3 cars? Keep an eye on this.
I would love to see that. Obviously, JB with a 3-second tyre penalty, so will put JP just in the points still. So JP will have to keep the car in a straight line or make no mistakes, but seeing that Red Bull tearing down, revving that engine behind you, it must put a little bit of a shake in your leg.
This is what I think is called Charles Leclerc simulator, if I'm entirely honest with you. Growing on DRS now. Now looking to the left-hand side of the racetrack, very close. JB almost didn't give her the space. They almost didn't get enough room to make that move, but she's managed to squeeze in. That's 1 car of the 3 she needs. I think could we see potential 2-car overtake down the main straight? Keep an eye on this one.
The exit will be so crucial here for this Red Bull, and you just see the grip difference. It's just crazy. Already made a move on BJ. It's now just Curtis who will be a sitting duck. I say that, I forget.
Come back
Setup. It really just does not help with this massive long straight. Obviously the corners will be different. Let's see how late Grovey will break. Wow.
Very late.
Very, very late. And now she has Alfa Romeo eyed up in front. Looking further on the grid, it's still a battle between Fan and Grumio, who are really, really just pushing each other as best as they can.
Where's the inside? Oh, it was close.
Ooh. Yeah, it's crazy to see the tyre difference. The braking is the most different thing. It's very hard when you are on those fresh tyres to know when the driver ahead will brake. So yeah, it does put up those very, very close moments.
4-car train here for 3rd place. Any one of these 4 cars could still finish on the podium. And I wouldn't count out that Red Bull either, who, if she can get around Curtis here, looking to the left-hand side of the racetrack again. It's been a 1-lap sweep, but she's taken all 3 cars now, and she's got 7 seconds to close on the 4 in front of her. Can she still have a podium, Pope? There's still 5 laps to go, but it could still happen. You never know. Ooh, Fan, terrible exit there.
Never say never, but that is going to allow Slazenger to make a move. Or will it? Because it's coming back with Fan.
Definitely got
Imri. Imri's
Safety
out.
car's out.
Oh,
and Dan's out as well.
And Dan's out. Oh.
Well, that's happened to Dan
here
in the stadium section. Where's he crashed it? He's crashed it. He's put it. Oh, that's a nasty one from what I saw.
Oh, such a shame for Dan, who was doing so well. However, this is where it gets tasty.
This is where it gets... Okay, late race restart, Pope. If you are Grovey, who is on the soft tyres of 5 laps, what do you do here?
You pit again. You have to pit again. Everyone else will pit you. You're not going to lose any positions. And you've already showed the pit. You have to pit.
This is going to be a huge last stop. This is the money stop, especially for those guys who are running for 3rd right now. But Cott and Nichols
it's
will
going
be
to
saving
be
people in P2.
fantastic. One person that might get a little bit hampered here is BJ. With how close all the cars are, that stop in that Mercedes garage will be quite long for the Mercedes, so it might see the likes of JB being able to jump him.
Potentially have to wait and see. 13 cars still in the running of this race. PJ, Pagurins and Courtney Gold all make their stops now, so they're able to catch back up. Cott is in, fresh soft tyres, got on that Aston Martin. Nicholas is in, no doubt, soft tyres on that car. Yep, that is correct. Grumio is in, Slazenger Volvo is in, Fan is in, Webbsy is in, Grubby stays out.
Oh, it's risky. It's risky. You're not even going to get P1, Grovey.
We get P2.
Is P2, yeah, but not even P1. That shows you how far ahead Cott was at this point in the race. That's a very, very risky decision, as all these drives are on soft tyres.
And you're all right.
Fresh soft tyres.
You're all right. JB has jumped BJ, but also, crucially, BJ made a wing change. So did he have damage we didn't notice?
Maybe so. Maybe why the pace of Mercedes wasn't quite like his teammates, but I am just in awe of what we're about to watch here. This is going to be fantastic for the last few laps.
I feel like we'll get 2 laps of racing here to decide this Grand Prix, because they definitely won't wait for a 1 lap restart to allow everyone to close up, I don't think. Given that
So I
in the stadium
believe
section right now.
it'll be 34 to 35. I believe we will be going.
Is there a chance to go this time, do you reckon?
No, I don't think it'll go this time. I feel like we'll have no DRS in the rest of this race, and it'll all be down to the straight line speed, which Grovey needs to worry about. This is another reason for Grovey to go on to those soft tyres, the fresh ones that is. The straight line speed of the car is just not up to standard as the rest of them, so this could be a bit of a struggle for the rest of this race.
It's going to be crucial for the cars who have just pitted to get that tire up to temperature as quickly as they can here to make sure they rub it in for the restart. Because while Cott's got the pace, that could be where it falls apart from. Because of course Grovey's tyres, while worn, are rubbing in a lot more than the cars around her. So if she can get a good restart and try and try and stay close to Cott when he goes, then she could still be with a chance. But as you say, it's very unlikely that this will be Grovey's day.
Yeah, I think that's the word to use, unlikely. You never know, it could always happen. But obviously we saw what happened last safety car restart. It was quite a hectic one. A few collisions and a few touching moments, so it could happen all over again. It's just crazy to see the entire grid on softs. It's absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, qualifying style run for this race. And I mentioned the last restart. Crucially, this is the first restart I think we're having where there's been no car in the lead or still on worn tyres.
Yes, you would be right.
So this could be a different one, to be honest. But Cott needs to. If Cott can nail the restart, I'll say he may be as good as winning it.
Yes, at the end of the day, the restart is what matters for Cott. Obviously, you never know what could happen behind, and something that makes me think is, okay, you got 2 laps of racing to go. You got 50% ERS at each lap. Best way to look at it for me is 50% ERS at each lap. When's best to use that 50%?
Main straights. The longest straight to that issue. That question.
You say that?
Yeah.
For me, personally, it'd be on the exit of these corners.
Ah, okay.
You want to get a better acceleration for these other drivers, because at the end of the day, it's not about the straight line speed. You can defend as hard as you want now, because it is going to be elbow to elbow. What needs to happen is those exit of those corners, deploy all your ERS, get ahead before the corner.
This is it. This is crunch time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. The crowd in the stadium section roaring our drivers on when they take the green flag. Cott will lead them in the Aston Martin, looking for his 3rd win from 4. Grovey looking for her first victory in the RDL. Nicholas, long time racing before Cott took him, looking for win number 2. And Grumio all the while, and Fan in P6 looking to close that gap in the standings. But it was just 2 laps of racing to decide it here in Mexico. Green flag back in the air. Cott has nailed it. Grovey is not away as well as she might have thought she'd be. Nicholas on the outside. Grovey will need the toe here going towards turn 1. She's closing the gap on the Aston Martins to go towards turn 1. She goes to the outside of the racetrack. Who will be last on the brakes? Keep an eye on Grumio there, who goes 3 wide into turn 1. Contact. Cott makes it. Nicholas, he's all over them.
Out of nowhere.
Takes the lead, but Cott takes it back. He goes wide.
He goes wide. That's
Go around.
Curtis
around.
Through.
Curtis and BJ. Collision. We race on.
Hectic.
Nicholas, the inside contact again.
The inside. Oh, it's a very, very late dive bomb that. And that's going to allow that. And that's going to allow Cott to just pull away now.
That is what Cott needs.
By the stewards, that was a very, very late dive bomb there by Nicholas. Pushing Grumio nearly off track. But someone who's benefited well from this is Slazenger, who's now eyeing up that Alpine himself. Will he be able to get a double Aston Martin podium? We'll have to wait and see.
1 more lap to go, settle this thing. If Nicholas can, everyone's used a lot of the ERS here. Grumio's got about half his left compared to about a quarter that everyone else has got. Oh, it's Fan going way wide there. May lose P6. Contact with Websy there. The two championship protagonists collide with 2 laps to go. This is it. The bell lap here in Mexico. 1 more to go. Caught, poor exit. Nicholas is closing the gap.
Yeah, Grumio seems to be out of it now, 2 seconds behind, having to use that ARS that he saved so first restarted lap. As you see BJ going into the pits, it looks like BJ will be retiring
Yep, that's it.
from race.
JB around the
which
outside
is
Websy,
a
turn 1.
shame.
Close racing.
This is
here.
so close between all these drivers, all for these crucial points going near to the end of the season. Williams looking for double points, but will he be able to do it? Pagorians looking for points as well. This is just absolutely crazy racing.
Oh, a bit of contact. Cotney goes inside of JB, who goes a bit wide of the racetrack there. PJ around the outside of Cotney now. Nicholas has brought the gap down as much as he can, but it looks like the race is going Cott's way. With just over a sector to go.
Yeah, it looks like it is. I think the collision between Grumio and Nicholas kind of cemented Cott's victory. It would have been nice to see these guys all come so close on this final lap, but it looks like going through the stadium section as the fireworks and confetti light up. The green machine representing the green of the Mexican flag takes the final corner, sliding through turn 16. Crossing the line, Cott wins with Nicholas P2.
Grumio takes 3rd place in the end. Slazenger 4th. Fan in 5th. Grubby 6th. Websy 7th. JB 8th. PJ 9th. Pagorians in the end, after penalties, slides into P8. So thank you very much. I'll have that. But Cott is your winner. Narrowly over Nicholas. What a final restart that was. However, I do think you are correct, Pope. That collision between Nicholas and Grumio, was it? Am I right there? May have sealed the win for
Yeah, it was a late dive bomb kind of pushing out Grumio wide. Could be down the race. The stewards will have to decide that. But I feel like really cemented Cott's win. I would probably put Grumio to win because, as we saw, Grumio was so good under the braking into turn 1. I'd love to see them go close. But nonetheless, Cott drove fantastically today. Absolutely fantastic.
What a restart.
So,
Grovey almost
yeah.
took the lead as well. That's the she was on the outside looking for the lead off of I'm struggling with my words here, Pope. That's happens to me on late race restarts. This is always what goes wrong with me. There's your winner though. Cott wins it. And in the end, Nicholas takes 2nd and Grumio in 3rd. Closes a bit of gap down that championship. Slazenger comes home in 4th place today. C110P fan in the end 5th. Grovey 6th. Websy in 7th. Pagorians in 8th. JB 9th. And Curtis rounds off your last points in the order. PJ Khaled in 11th. Cotney Goblin 12th. BJ 13th. Dan 14th. Imri, Shane, Lucky, Dan and BJ all fans finished. 12 cars across the line at the end.
Yeah, well done to those 12 drivers. It's a very hard track. You might not feel like it is because of how much runoff there is, but it's a very hard track to keep that car in a straight line and keep the momentum going. So well done to all those 12 finishers.
Fantastic stuff all round. Another exciting race in Mexico, and I think we're going to get some interviews going, to be honest.
I would love to do that. However, there seems to be a bird outside the commentary booth, so I'm going to go and deal with that. But I shall be back in a few moments after I tell it to shoot.
There's a bird outside.
Yeah, can you not see it? It's a bird right there.
Oh yeah, it's outside my window. Yes, come on.
Yeah. Basically, Pope needs to go for a couple of minutes, but Pope will be back very, very shortly.
Sounds good. Okay, in that case, I'll get interviews started there. Apologies for all that. All right. It's a fantastic race. Let me know your thoughts down in the chat below, especially on that final restart. I'll have to wait and see here just what is said about, if anyone has anything to say about that last restart. Fantastic race all around. We have Cott in the chat here, so we'll get started in a few minutes or so. Hopefully we'll get some more people in and be able to get underway. Okay, tell you what we'll do, since Cincy's here, we'll get to Cott first. Mate, can you hear us there? You with us?
Yeah, I can hear fine.
Excellent. Well, take a bow, mate. 3 wins from 4. How's that feel?
It feels amazing. I've obviously had some really good challenges along the way, but Feels really good, especially winning that one. That was very chaotic.
Definitely, number of safety cars in the race. Perhaps a lot more eventful than the wins you've had so far. That final restart there. Talk us through that, because that was insanity from what we were watching.
Yeah, just on the restart, I tried to come around the final corner, just get a straight line. So I got a good restart, but the wings I was running didn't help me. I was using all the DRS, but everyone with slipstream and low wings behind was catching me. So I just tried to defend the inside, but I had 2 cars come round me, and then I think there was a 4th that just backed out though. So I just tried to brake as late as I can, knowing I had the higher wings, so I could brake later. And it was just a bit of a mess, but got through it. And I was able just to pull away using the ability of the higher wings for the middle sector to get out of the DRS of the person behind, who was catching me up the last lap, so it was very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a struggle from where we were sitting here, but you managed to handle it okay. In terms of the start of the race, because you started on the hard tyres, and after just 5 laps coming into the pit lane, what was that about? What was the decision there?
The original strategy was to either go hard soft or hard medium, depending on tyre wear. Because I knew it was possible to do medium soft, but with the amount of tyre wear you have, it's actually a bit faster to go hard mediums. Because the tyre wear, I think the tyres start to die around 30%. But with the safety car coming out, I thought best strat from here, if everyone pits, which they did, was a medium. Then I would have fresher tyres than the people that, like, if people had boxed for the hards, I would have better tyres than them. Or if people started on went on mediums, I know I could get them on pace.
Fair enough. I mean, speaking of pace, you got more say, or should I carry on?
No, it's fine. Go on.
Yeah, no worries. I was trying to thought for a second. In terms, you put out quite a lot of pace in the mid portion of the race, nearing the end, going towards that last safety car. But of course, Nicholas, who finished half a second behind you, he was still giving you quite a run. What was it like fighting him today?
It was good. I realised when he got into his DRS, he did let me pass, so I thought he's just going to use me to train on to save tyres, which was smart from him. But when I pulled away, I was just conserving my tyres while still trying to maintain that gap. But then when the safety car came out, it did give me a right challenge on those softs. I was sliding out some of the corners, and I was like, at the second last lap, I had a slip through the last corner, and I was just constantly flicking behind me, making sure I got a good distance to him. But it was a really good challenge from him. I hope to see more of that next weekend.
Of course, last question for you. Looking into next week will be our first race on the Las Vegas Strip. You looking forward to that?
No, I've had many races where all was chaotic. Track just feels like it's got no grip.
I mean, it's a street circuit, so we can't expect too much from it. But regardless, hopefully, at least for your sake, we'll be looking at another good race for you. So congratulations on your 3rd win of the season. 3rd win, as I say, from 4 races. Very impressive stuff. It's been quite a start for you, and hopefully it continues next week.
Yep, thank you.
Alright, so that was your race winner, Cop 5. And Pope, I'm going to turn to you now for your work experience. Do you want to interview Nicholas for us?
I would love to, mate. So, Nicholas, how did you find the race itself? So obviously a lot of 36 laps, yeah, 36 laps, I can imagine it being difficult.
Well, it was extremely difficult because I used lower wings than Cot, and I felt that in the corners because against Grumio it was fine, but against Cot in the corners he just got me out, and I was like, okay, that's my race. But till that, I gave him a good fight. I just did not see me going through with fighting him on the mediums, and he was just way quicker. As you can see in the lap times, he did 1.3 seconds quicker, and he was conserving his tires. That's just the difference, I think, between wheel and pad for me, because yeah, I miss my wheel, but that's enough crying.
Same.
Still
Yeah,
was
no, I
a
miss
good
my wheel
race
too.
with Folly. I did not.
Yeah, no,
expect
I
it to.
Sorry, yeah. I think one thing I would pick up on is lower wing setups, yeah, but you still got a fastest lap, so you got 19 points out of that race.
obviously subject to any decisions being made, but it's still very, very good. So how are you settling in the RDL? Obviously, you've got one race win under your belt, which is fantastic. Fantastic qualifying, as we always say here in the commentary booth, and some great results. So where do you see yourself going into next season? Obviously, we've only got 3 more races now left.
Obviously, I'm aiming to win the title next season because I like driving here. I like the people here. I like the challenge the new drivers give me here, and in general, I just enjoy myself here.
I love that confidence. That's fantastic. Going on to lap 35, had a bit of contact there with Grumio, and I think that's kind of what cemented Cott to have that gap, that win. Any comments on that little bit of contact? Obviously pushing each other wide. Obviously you expect it. It's a safety car restart on the last few laps, but any comments really?
I do remember we're on live there before you start. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it was a chaotic restart. That's what I can say about it. Yeah, the stewards will see what happens because I have my opinion, but I'm not gonna share it because I will respect what JB said. And yeah, sorry for you, Cot. I pushed you off a bit there because I did not expect you to be alongside me. That was my bad, but I hope I didn't damage you or anything. Yeah, I tried to go for a gap because Grumio was pushing it very hard. I was gone on the right side, which was the right direction to go. But on the end, Cot was pushing a bit more ERS, was pushing a bit more the tires because I was on 5 warnings, so it would have destroyed my race. And yeah, luckily for me, Grumio got damage on the front wing, and so I got P2.
So the final question then, obviously we always ask this to our drivers, what are you feeling for Las Vegas next week? Good, bad, nervous?
It depends. It depends really. If my wheel comes this week as it should, I like it. But on the controller, it's a very big challenge this year.
Really well. Thank you for your time, and obviously wish you well going on to next week. And hopefully your wheel comes.
Alright, well that'll be it. Pope, well done for another successful interview. And of course, do you want to remind us one more time of the word of the race?
Word of the race is S section hyphenated, so if you don't put a hyphen in there, we can't give you a clap.
Well, you can't do that, no.
And the other, what was the other question again? What do we think of Pope's commentary as well? I think it's my 2 words are sexy and sublime, but I don't know if that will catch on.
I got a word. The word is biased.
Not biased.
No, as in you're biased towards your. No, as in you're biased towards your opinion.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I am biased.
Okay, right. Well, I think that'll more or less cap off interviews. So, guys, thank you for showing up. Congratulations on the results, and thank you for giving us such a great race because that was fun to watch. That'll more or less cap it off. We more or less cap it off for the stream. Any last words before you wrap things off?
No, I'm pretty much all said and done.
Sounds good. Right, we've got 3 rounds to go in this season. Of course, a championship still to be decided here. Fan, it is not out of the woods just yet, and next week's race could be a huge spanner in the works. Las Vegas, next time out in the Racers Driving League on the 4th of December, 7 PM British time. Make sure to go and join us for that. Make sure to subscribe for any future audio content, including the last 3 races and the shorts when I get my backside round to make them. So from myself, it's goodbye. From Pope, it's goodbye, and we shall see you in the next one.